In North and West Vancouver, some of the most interesting art objects are not in galleries, but outdoors for all to enjoy. Hello from Rogers Plaza, across from Lonsdale Quay in North Vancouver. Welcome to Red's Classic Theatre. Now, the plaza is just one of many sites on the North Shore that display life-size sculptures and art pieces. And we'll explore art in public places throughout the program. Our movie this week is the 1954 romance drama, Three Coins in the Fountain. The picture was one of the first to deal with sex in a more frank and realistic way, though it still clung to conventional morality. Also, the movie pioneered the concept of filming on location. Exotic views of Rome and Venice gave viewers a taste of European travel without having to leave home. And the final touch to the movie's success was the dreamy title song, which became the hit love ballad of the year. Now here's Act One of Three Coins in the Fountain, starring Clifton Webb and Dorothy McGuire. Red's Classic Theatre is exploring art in public places on Vancouver's North Shore. And here at Rogers Plaza, two large and unusual sculptures have been mounted. One is called North Shore Rhapsody. It's a wind harp on one side and a traditional harp on the other. Scenes from the city's history are embossed in metal plates on the back of the harp. The other sculpture is a 15-foot-long trumpet, recalling an early North Vancouver resident by the name of Joe Bustamante. Now, the story goes that Mr. Bustamante, a one-armed trumpet player, used to blow his trumpet to help ferry captains land their vessels safely, a service he provided for over 20 years. Both pieces were created by noted sculptor Richard Wojciechowski. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Another thought-provoking work of art can be found right next door to the Ferry Building in West Vancouver. This is Granite Assemblage. Now, it was created by landscape artist Don Vaughn. The work is composed of a series of granite cubes and rectangles set at the edge of the harbor in a man-made tide pool. Now, I don't know much about art, but I know what I like, and I like granite assemblage. But then again, I've always been a fan of rock. Did I really say that? Now let's get back to Three Coins in the Fountain, starring Clifton Webb and Dorothy McGuire. Red's Classic Theatre is discovering art in public places as we enjoy Three Coins in the Fountain. The picture caused a mild sensation in 1954 for the way in which it depicted young women. It showed them as worldly, independent, and assertive. They pursued love affairs and enticed three young men into marrying them, a far cry from the nice girl image of the 1940s. For 20th Century Fox, Three Coins in the Fountain was both an artistic and financial success. And besides its popularity, it won an Academy Award for its color photography and for the new widescreen technique called CinemaScope. Director Jean Negulesco found CinemaScope so much to his liking, he followed up with three more big screen productions, including Daddy Longlegs in 1955, The Rains of Ranchapur in 1955, and Boy on a Dolphin in 1957. Now let's return to Three Coins in the Fountain, starring Clifton Webb and Dorothy McGuire. From the shores of Ambleside Park in West Vancouver, it's time to look at our mailbag, and thank you for the movie requests you continue to send in. April Zhu from Vancouver requested Camille, starring Greta Garbo and Robert Taylor. Emile Gary from Richmond wanted to see Key Largo, starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. And Bob Stark from Comox requested Hobson's Choice, starring Charles Laughton. Now, if there's a motion picture that you'd like to see or the suggestion of a location, please drop us a note. Red Robinson, KVUS TV in Vancouver. Coming up next week, the lively and touching musical South Pacific. Mitzi Gaynor, Rosanna Barazzi, and John Kerr star in this 1958 production based on James Missioner's sketches of World War II life on a Pacific island. And 2 weeks from tonight, Grace Kelly, William Holden, and Bing Crosby star in the 1954 film The Country Girl. And now let's return to Three Coins in the Fountain, starring Clifton Webb and Dorothy McGuire. Hope you're enjoying Three Coins in the Fountain, starring Dorothy McGuire on Red's Classic Theatre. Dorothy McGuire was born exactly 74 years ago today, June 14th, 1918, in Omaha, Nebraska. Her acting career began at the age of 13, opposite another famous Nebraskan actor, Henry Fonda. The next stop for McGuire was Broadway, where she appeared in the play Our Town. But a big opportunity came 3 years later when she landed the lead role in the play Claudia. She then repeated her stage success in the 1943 film version. After that, notable roles followed in top productions like The Spiral Staircase, in 1946. Gentleman's Agreement with Gregory Peck in 1947. And Friendly Persuasion in 1956, when she played a Quaker wife struggling to keep her family out of the Civil War. Dorothy McGuire returned to acting in 1976 with the Broadway revival of Night of the Iguana. And now let's return to Three Coins in the Fountain, starring Dorothy McGuire and Clifton Webb. Well, we've moved back to the waterfront park in North Vancouver to enjoy art in public places, and it's time for our movie trivia quiz. One of the bit players in tonight's movie is Italian actress Luciana Paluzzi. Now, she appeared mostly in European productions. However, she did appear in a James Bond thriller. Can you name it? We'll be back with the answer in just a moment. Here's the answer to our movie trivia quiz. Italian actress Luciana Paluzzi appeared in the 1965 James Bond thriller Thunderball with Sean Connery. Before returning to Europe, she appeared in a few other North American productions, including Chuka and The Greek Tycoon. And now let's return to Three Coins in the Fountain. Well, that's a wrap for this week's edition of Red's Classic Theater. I hope you enjoyed Three Coins in the Fountain, starring Clifton Webb and Dorothy McGuire. Be sure to join us next Sunday night on Red's Classic Theater for the musical South Pacific, starring Rosanna Brazzi, Mitzi Gaynor, and John Kerr. And, of course, the wonderful music of Rodgers and Hammerstein. In the meantime, if there's a motion picture you'd like to see or the suggestion of a location, I'd love to hear from you. Write to Red Robinson, KVOS-TV in Vancouver. We'd like to take this opportunity of thanking Lisa Strimbicki, Phil Chapman, and Kathy Matheson for hosting our visit here to the North Shore for wonderful art that you can see in both North and West Vancouver. Be sure to join us next Sunday night for South Pacific. Until then, thank you for being with us, and good night, everybody.